Hi, my name is Ross. I think my story is nothing new, about how my sister just loves to annoy me. I'm sure many of you will see a reflection of our relationship. Is this why it happens? In some families, I hear amazing stories about how little brothers and sisters, or little sisters and brothers, siblings, sisters, yes, in general, everyone loves each other. They don't fight, they don't blame each other, they understand each other and respect personal boundaries. Why am I so fucking unlucky? Huh? How many of us are like that around here? Give me some likes and write in the comments so I can see who has a similar situation. My sister's name is Rosie. We're twins. She is 7 minutes older and has been proud of it all her life. Rosie just loves to annoy me and knows how to do it. Life hacks on how to piss off Ross in 3 seconds. Rosie will tell you. All I have to do is purposely spread her hair all over my bed, smack when I'm sitting next to her, sing songs really loudly when I'm on the phone, take the bathroom for 3 hours when I have to rush somewhere, take my stuff without asking, steal money, take pictures on my phone, leave my computer on at night, throw my socks in the trash, use my shaver. I say these things and I'm already shaking. All of these things you don't have to do, and if you do, it's only if you're a toxic person like Rosie. Are you saying something about me there, bro? I'm not your little brother. You're 7 minutes younger than me, so you're a bro. But I'm 7 years ahead of you in terms of development. What did you say? It's not what, it's what. Literacy. I have a date tonight with that cool guy from Westwood. Wow, lucky me. I hooked up with a hottie. They're gangsters. All those guys from there. Be jealous, you're way ahead of them. If I wanted to be dumb and kind of brutal, I'd give up high school for crime. Also, if I had a girlfriend like you, that would be the finishing touch to the portrait of an imbecile. Who? No one. You wouldn't understand. Okay, bye, Rossi. Don't call me that. To be honest, when my sister got a boyfriend, I sighed a little because I hoped that now he would get most of the attention and not me. I was partly right. Only it lasted about a week. Then they started fighting, and my sister was annoying me even more with her antics. It was like she was taking it out on me for being an idiot. Once, after another fight, she came home a little tipsy and started annoying me again and laughing. I freaked out and told her angrily that her stupid boyfriend was coming over to our house. I knew they kind of broke up. What did you tell him? Told him you had another. What? How dare you? I hate you. Who cares? You broke up anyway. Now it's definitely because of you. You don't understand these broads. She's gone, but she still cares. My sister made me the one to blame for her bad romance. And what do you think? The two of them had been racing together for a couple of days. Only I heard about the Westwood boys for a reason. They don't like to be made fun of. My sister's boyfriend decided to get back at me for the joke and make me remember it for the rest of my life. I'll tell you what happened next. It was pretty quick. They caught me on my way home in the evening, put a bag over my head, and covered my mouth while I was screaming. They brought me in and threw me out of the car in some obscure place, like a junkyard, where a bunch of Westwood kids surrounded me and started intimidating me. While I was trying to get up, one of them kicked me in the stomach. It was Rosie's boyfriend. She was standing next to me watching. Rosie, so he's your boyfriend. There are so many good-looking ones, and you picked him? What did you say? Shut up, Rossie. Now he'll show you how to make jokes on us. Are you serious right now? You're my fucking twin. Can't you feel my pain? I guess we were bred differently. I just feel you pissing me off. I wish I'd strangled you in utero. But I have every chance to do it now. Rosie's boyfriend jumped me, punched me in the stomach a couple of times, then leaned me against the wall and told me in such a menacing voice to get off his girlfriend. Rosie, is he completely stupid? How am I supposed to get away from you? You're my own sister. We live in the same house. Don't listen to him, Pookie. I'm sick of him. I thought it was the end of me, and then Rosie intervened. She said she was bored and wanted to go for a walk and listen to music. He let me go, and when she took him away, I ran home. At home, I asked my sister why she got involved with him in the first place, and she suddenly burst into tears. It took me a long time to process what she said because I couldn't get it all into my head. I looked at my sister with amazement, and at one point I even felt sorry for her. It's all because of you. You mean because of me? You've always been the best, not like me. Parents always praised Ross for his best achievements in school. At family parties, you always said a toast to the whole family, and they never let me say a word. My parents always thought I had bad language, and in general, I was stupid myself. The only accomplishment I had was that I was 7 fucking minutes older than you, and what did they give you? Nothing. Hey, Rosie, you think too bad of yourself. Do I? Remember all your trips out of town to the Olympics and competitions? Dad would pay for anything just to get his smart kid to participate, and you won every contest, as if out of spite. I wanted to prove myself too. I asked them to send me to a talent show because I'm a good singer, and what did Mum and Dad say? They didn't have the money. Well, what does that have to do with the big guy? It does! Over the years, I've learned how to piss you off. It's been so much fun. You know, the very thought that I disgusted you, that I could make you uncomfortable with my mere presence, it became my sole purpose to annoy you. Are you serious right now? Does it look like I'm kidding? So all these years, you've been annoying me on purpose, just because you were jealous of your parents? Yes, just because they loved you more, gave you more attention, and had more faith in you. My sister was sobbing, and my feelings were raging inside me. And at the same time, I was caught up in them, not knowing what to say or how to react. I felt a bit sorry for Rosie. The once bitchy, self-aware sister was suddenly so defenseless, so weak. All I could do was hug her tightly, pat her hair, and tell her that she was my twin, and therefore a better version of me. Do you really think so? I'm sure I do. After our conversation, Rosie fell asleep and I went to talk to my parents. Son, is something wrong? Yes, Dad, there is. And for a long time now, I need to talk to you about Rosie. It was a long night talk. I asked my dad why he refused to send her to the show, to which he said he'd never heard her sing. That doesn't mean she can't. I have some money, so it's not too late. All it takes is for you and Mum to believe in your daughter. After all, she is my twin. I could see that they were ashamed, that what they were hearing was shocking. Apparently, they really thought that it was better to invest in the child for whom there is a return. But there isn't. First, you have to invest to give back. Don't you agree with me? Father hesitated, promising to answer in the morning. They approached Rosie themselves and said they had agreed to pay everything. Rosie was going crazy with happiness, and I saw she was so happy. The day before the trip, her muscle man came and thought it was me trying again, and that's why my sister wasn't picking up the phone. I knew I couldn't resist him. He was 4 heads taller than me, so I just showed him the phone and said, my sister is going to fulfill her dream of becoming a better singer. If you didn't know she was singing, then she didn't love you. Number 2, you're not in those dreams, as you noticed, so fuck off to Westwood. And if you don't understand, I can call 911 and they'll explain to you on their fingers. Do you understand now? The guy growled something back and walked away. Then Rosie jumped up behind me, hugged me, and thanked me. A week later, my sister was on her way with my mum. We excitedly watched a live show with my dad where my twin blew up the stage, showed them all who she was. I admired her for the first time in my life. One thing I regret is that we wasted so much time on the wrong things. But better late than never, right? What do you guys say?
I always thought I knew my family well. Everyone has their own secrets. But we try to live without them, especially when it comes to something important. My mother raised us like this. We trusted her and my sister. But then it turned out that I was wrong. That after all, my little sister Anna had something to hide. And when I revealed her secret, I was confused. Because it was shocking. My name is Frankie, as I said, and I have a little sister, Anna, who's very sweet and kind, or so I thought. My parents and I thought she was almost a dandelion. Since I was a child, my father told me to stand up for her, to protect her always, to be there for her, and to be able to listen. Because I'm her own person, and the only one who wants only the best. You understand that it doesn't always work out that people we call friends always be with us. This is life. There's nothing bad or good here. It's just normal and you need to accept it. I remembered my parents' instructions, and I always try to do my duty as a brother. When Anna was growing up, we watched it with emotion because she was the youngest child. We have a small age difference of 3 years, but it still strengthened my position as the senior in the house. So one day, when we went to school with her, we were almost hit by a car on the way there. I was so scared, but I reacted quickly, pushing her to the side of the road. Anna fell straight into the mud, but she wasn't hurt. I was fine too. I remembered the car. I wanted to go to the police, but Anna dissuaded me. She said that it was some kind of jerk, and that it wasn't worth it. I listened to her, and I shouldn't have. Around the same time, we began to notice that Anna was separating from us. She spent more and more time alone in the room and often began to go out for a walk. I understood that she was a teenager. Apparently, there were friends, interests, and so on. We didn't want to limit or intrude too much into her personal space, but the more we kept quiet, the more she had a life of her own. I never tried to talk to her. Maybe something's bothering her. But she just smiled back at me, and that's it. Anna liked to run to the house in our yard, where we kept unnecessary junk. But sister cleaned it up properly, made it cozy, and she went there with her friends. Sometimes they all spent the night there. My mother occasionally visited there, but Anna did not like it, so we tried not to disturb her once again. Our distance from each other worried me. I could feel something happening, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Almost 6 months had passed in this way. Anna was completely different. She was no longer the same cheerful girl, and one day, I decided to pick her up after school. I went to pick her up in class, but the teacher said that she hadn't shown up for school for 3 days. Yes, I'm sorry. I stopped by out of habit. I forgot. She's sick. I'm sorry, Miss Trevel. She'll be here tomorrow. I said to the teacher and I left. I had to lie so she wouldn't call the parents. I was already seriously worried, which meant that something had happened, and I needed to find out what it was. The first thing I did was go to her friend Barbara's house, where they'd been friends for several years. When she saw me, she was surprised. We just talked to her on the phone yesterday. She said that she was at home, that everything was fine. She said that she would do her homework because today she has a chemistry test. Barb said. My sense of unease was transmitted to her. Her friend said that Anna had changed a lot. She's become secretive since she met a guy named Brad. I immediately asked who he was and where he came from, but according to her, my little sister didn't really want to talk about him. They spent a lot of time together, so for the last 3 weeks, we haven't even met once. Just talked on the phone, she said. I decided to find him, but there was so little information that I realized that it was possible that I would find something in her room. I went home and told my mother that Anna had gone to visit Barbara, and I went to my sister's room secretly. I quickly searched the room, but found nothing special, absolutely nothing. However, the only thing that I noticed was some kind of book, or rather a notebook with numbers. What they meant, I didn't understand. I took it with me, and then I abruptly remembered about the house in the yard. I went there and saw a combination lock with a hesitant movement. I tried to enter the numbers combination, but everything was wrong. For 20 minutes, I tried to open it and even break down the door, but nothing happened. I sat down on the ground, and I began to think, what is it that she installed a combination lock? And then suddenly, I felt her notebook in my pocket. I tried a few numbers, and voila, the door opened. I went in there and turned on the light. In general, everything looked the same as always, just a little dirty. After a little digging, I suddenly noticed the shoes. They were men's shoes, and Brad came to mind. Ugh, I didn't even want to think about him being here. I checked the wardrobe, the sofa, the table, but there was nothing special, and before I left, I tripped over the shoes and almost fell, hitting the wall next to the TV. I clicked on something and I heard a click. The head immediately turned to the side of the door. Only now I noticed that the recess in the shape of the door was different in color from the main wall. As soon as I opened it, almost fell in a small opening, like a tiny room. I saw a weapon. Oh, my God. Sis, where are you going? I thought. I didn't take it with my bare hands, so I took Anna's t shirt, wrapped it up, and took it back to me. I had my things in a safe place, along with my notebook. Almost as soon as I walked in, my mom asked me to call Anna, and she told me the news. There was a murder in the city, and it happened just a couple blocks away. I was worried. I called Anna, but she didn't answer, and a moment later, she appeared on the doorstep. She behaved so naturally and sat down at the table and began to ask what was for lunch. My mother asked me about school, and I sat there and listened to how easy it was for her to lie. I didn't know how to talk to her, where to start, and then a couple of hours later, she said that a friend had come to visit her and she wanted to go. My mother only allowed me a stand outside the house, and Anna agreed. When the car arrived, I recognized it. It was the sedan that almost hit us on the road. They went into the house. In the yard, I followed them. He was so ugly, older than her, and my heart sank. I couldn't help but rush in, grab him by the collar, and push him against the wall, and the door opened. Anna nervously cast a glance there, and he asked, Where? Where is he? Not even paying attention to the fact that I'm holding him. Anna said she didn't know, and then she yelled at me. It all happened so fast. Your weapon's in a safe place with all your prints, I told him, and he turned pale. What did you get her into? While Anna begged me to let him go. Brad tried to free himself, but he couldn't, and I clenched my fist and was about to paint his face. When Anna said that I had misunderstood everything. Brad tried to hit me again, so I did it first and he passed out. Anna began to cry, and I demanded an explanation. She begged him not to turn him into the police and said that his brother accidentally shot while playing with a gun and wounded a man. Brad tried to hide it, but she helped him. I asked her where he got it and why he almost ran us over on the road, and she said it was his stepfather's, and he was a criminal, but Brad's mother loved him, so she asked him to hide it. The stepfather's being tried. If If he gets caught again, he'll be put in jail forever. She loves him, and Brad, he's protecting his little brother. His stepfather was in the car at the time. He was drunk and doesn't even remember driving. Anna said, as I was stunned, and then Brad came to his senses and told me the same thing. He begged me not to hand him over to the police, but I said I couldn't let it go. But I knew that my sister would also suffer for possession of a weapon. We told our parents, and they were horrified, but they thanked me for doing the right thing. Brad's stepfather was jailed for selling illegal things. Anna was interviewed, and Brad himself was also punished. He's now working out his allocated hours of community service. At first, Anna was angry, but then she promised not to get into any more trouble, or at least not to hide it from me. It's all over now. Tell me, guys, you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to put likes, share the video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.